Hey folks, Rob here. Well, if you watched my video from yesterday, you seen me do the build on this AR right here. This is my, I'm going to dub this the little bastard build because it's just made up of all kinds of stuff. Bear Creek Arsenal, 10.5-inch pistol upper, Anderson lower, Palmetto State kit. It's just a little bastard. So before we shoot this thing, or attempt to shoot it, we're gonna do a little maintenance on it here. We want to check it, so I am going to remove my upper from my lower. We'll separate the two. This upper has not been oiled or anything of that nature, so we're gonna disassemble this upper and make sure everything's lubed up and ready to go, so when we are ready to shoot it. So on these side charging uppers, you can't just, pull the bolt handle out. This one has this plug in the back, and this seals up any excess gas from coming back around where your gas key could be. And in order to take this one apart, you have to remove this this bolt handle. And see if I can find a properly sized Allen wrench here. That one's too small. I'm guessing this one might be too big. No, that one is just right. So we're going to break that loose and remove this Allen screw. Don't mean to get in your way of being able to see what's going on. So we're going to take this apart. We're going to check out our bolt. And so this one has the screw, and it actually has a little stud that corresponds with the hole. The first generation of these, I think they had some problems with the this vibrating loose. So this is their fix for that. So we'll lay our little bolt handle aside, and then we can remove our bolt. I guess I should have unlocked it. We can still do that. We just stick that right there, pull back, take that out, and remove our bolt from the rear. Now, this looks to be, well, the staking on the gas key doesn't look to be real great. It is kind of pushed in from the sides. It's disrupted from the sides, so it squares in. Maybe that's sufficient there. Let's see if we can disassemble this bolt. Let's take out our firing pin retainer. Trying to do a little better today. I was having trouble yesterday. My camera kept stopping on me, and I don't know why. So there's our firing pin and retainer. Now we'll rotate our gas key here. And that should pop right out. And it did. And we'll take our bolt out. So we have our little, there is our bolt. It looks to be well oiled. It is MPI, metal particle inspected. So this is an inspected bolt. Looks to be black nitride. So, but we're going to wipe that oil off, and we're going to put a little CLP on it. So we're going to remove this oil and put some CLP on it. The gas rings all look good. Looks to be a fairly well made bolt. The machining looks good on it. Don't see anything that would stand out. And here's our cam pin. Also black nitride finish. And our bolt itself. And this is nitride finished as well. So everything about the bolt carrier group is black nitride. It's not chrome lined. It has a nitrided finish, if you can see that. But I did want to take this apart and oil it and inspect it before we actually fire it. The machining looks good on it. I don't see anything that would stand out and be a negative for it. We'll wipe off our gas or our firing pin. Firing pin looks good. Got a nice tip on it there. So let's take a little CLP. Well, my CLP got knocked over and most of it's run out on my bench here. So we're going to put some CLP on this. And we're going to give it a liberal amount here. We're not going to be stingy with the CLP. Not on this initial break-in cycle. We're going to give it a good smattering. And we want to make sure our extractors to the outside, and put that in. Line up our cam pin. We're going to put a drop of a CLP there on our cam pin. Reinstall that. And get that in there. Alright. We are going to forego any CLP on the firing pin. We don't want a buildup of lubricant to get around your firing pin, so we're going to forego that. And I'm going to reinstall the firing pin retainer spring or pin. So, and now we're just going to give this a liberal coating of CLP. We want this to be slicker and banana shit coming out of monkey's ass. So we got that lubed up good. I'm going to set that aside. We're going to take a little look here at our upper. It is got the ramps. It's going to be hard to see in this lighting. It's well machined inside. I don't know if I showed you the inside or not yet. But looks to be well machined. I'll put a couple drops of CLP down in there just for good measure, just because I can. And then we are going to slide our bolt assembly back into our rifle. And I think that's got our bolt lubed up pretty good. So let's reinstall our operating handle. I'm almost of a notion to take the hand guard off and to inspect the gas block and make sure it's tight, and I want to believe it probably is from the factory. Be careful when you start this charging handle screw back. You don't want to strip that or get it cross-threaded. Although it started extremely easy. I didn't feel any binding or anything of that nature. I'm not going to tighten that so tight that it's feels like I might strip it, because that's the last thing I want to do is strip my bolt off. Now, that's got that ready to go. So we're going to take our lower here, which has not had anything either, and we're going to use a little CLP in here. We're just going to drop a few drops here on the bearing surfaces. I don't want this to be extremely wet, but I do want to lube it up a little bit and get a little bit of lubrication on it. Just sort of have a little bit of run and lube there. And I am going to put a drop of CLP just and I don't know if anybody does this or not, just a drop just in there, just in the tube there, just to give it a little bit. So, all right, I think that's sufficient. There ain't a lot of moving parts in an AR lower, so it ain't like it needs a whole lot. I do want to put a little bit down here around the sear. About a drop or two down there. Actually, this has got a pretty good trigger on it. It's not, doesn't have hardly any take up on it. It's pretty well right there. I mean, you can see it's got just a little bit, and then it's not a light trigger, but it's not a bad trigger. It just breaks. You got a little bit of take up, and it just breaks. Reset on it is not bad. Your reset is right there, and then it just breaks again. So honestly, for just a GI trigger, this is not bad at all. So with that, I don't know, I'm kind of torn as to whether to remove this hand guard and to check the gas block. We're here, we might as well. If I have a star wrench to fit it, let's just go ahead and do it, and that way we know we can confirm that it's good. Those are good and tight. Let's break them all loose. I don't know if these have been torqued or not. If they have been, I guess I just screwed that up, but I just want to check out the barrel and gas block. Give it a little bit of lubrication. Really wanted to inspect these to see if they had any kind of Loctite or anything on them. And so far I'm seeing no kind of thread blocker. All the little screws appear to be the same. Guys, it's extremely hard to do something like this and film it and stay out of the way and keep in frame and all the things you need to do so that you can halfway see it and what I'm doing. So that's what we're trying to do here. So there's all of our screws from our hand guard, and it just slides right off. And actually our gas block has two screws. So we have a 1 and 7 5.56 NATO mark barrel. Our gas block is or our nut here, our barrel nut, seems to be well made. Looks like a good solid piece of metal. Let's check our gas keys here in the bottom just to make sure I got the right size wrench here. No, I may not have the right size Allen wrench for that. No, I'm not gonna have the right wrench for that. Anyway, I just more or less wanted to inspect the barrel, and we'll check it back after a few rounds. I want to wipe this down, and you know, this is a Parkerized finish, so I want to get a little oil into the finish. Just a little bit of lubrication. That handguard. And another thing I want to get, oh shit. Another thing I want to do is I want to change this out. I want to put a flash forward on it, because with these little short pistols you get a lot of muzzle flash and percussion. Now I want to get a flash forward to put on this, and that's something I'm looking at right now at getting. So anyway guys, here's our handguard. Looks to be really nicely machined. Fairly lightweight. It's real slim. That's what I like about it. This is like a really slim handguard. Fits well in your hand. So we got a little oil on that, so let's slide it back on there, and we will reinstall our screws. Just going to start them by hand. I hope my videos ain't too boring for you. I think this is something that when you get a gun that's been built possibly by someone else, it's worth checking out just to see what you got. I'm not going to tighten any of these till I get them all kind of started. We want to get them all started. You definitely want to lube a new gun, and I'm going to run this one pretty wet until I see what it does. Give it the best opportunity. Now, everything I've read on these Bear Creek arsenals, I mean, I've read on the website the people who have bought this, and you know, it's for the money. It seems to be high quality. Everybody that has them says very little bad about them. You know, this is probably not a super high-end FN. It's, you know, but for me and my needs, this will suffice for. And most of us, just to be honest, if I'm being honest, most of us will never put tens of thousands of 223 or 5.56 ammo through one of these. For starters, it's expensive. It's cost prohibitive to just burn up ammo. I can't afford it, so this is more of a home defense gun, something that I can keep on hand in case of an emergency, that I can put into action. I do think a person ought to shoot their gun enough that they have it sighted in, they know that it operates, it's dependable, and shoot as much as you can. But the reality of it is, most of us can't afford to run these things to the point where we're going to wear them out. I can't. I'm speaking for myself now. Other people have other ways. So if that's not the way you feel about it, that's fine. But I'm just saying, from my perspective and my needs and my ability to purchase and use this gun, and the cost of ammunition, it's cost prohibitive for me to put tens of thousands of rounds through this thing. I just can't do it. You know. I'm going to go back over and give them one last little tighten. And there we go. Alright, we're going to stick this back on our gun, on our lower, our pistol lower. And there we go. There we go. Alright, guys. We have kind of prepped and looked at and checked out the little bastard build. So, hope everybody enjoyed the video. I'm looking forward to shooting this. And hope everybody is safe. And till the next video, we'll see you later.